Hopefully that gave a better screenshot than what I typically be having when I put myself on the screen. I hope everybody's doing very well this morning. This is Travis from Carter Cow Capital, helping you fight for your financial freedom throughout the overall Forex, gold, metal, indice, cryptocurrency, and every other market. This is another morning episode of Trade with Travis. I have October 24th. Hopefully everybody's doing very well in our morning session. Hopefully everybody end up having a very good week when it came down to trading and everything else. They end up corresponding with that going into going into this overall week. We are in the last week of October when it comes down to the trading month. Obviously, Monday will end up being the last full day of the trading week, which obviously is going to end up being Halloween. But this is going to end up being the last full week of overall trading. So that's the reason why I end up bringing it up like that. So y'all can be able to understand, obviously, what we're planning on being able to do, what's our overall mindset of what we're going to end up doing and how we're going to end up getting started. So with that being said, let's go ahead and go through the disclaimer. Then after that, we'll take a look at the pairs. We're going to end up being very brief on this one today because I think that it really doesn't need all of that much to be talked about when it comes down to the overall trading pairs and how everything's kind of moving. So let's go ahead and get started. I'm not a CTA, so I'm not going to tell you whether to buy or to sell. What I'm going to do is teach you education, and from that education, you can be able to make your own informed decision. Now, understand that trading involves risk. It involves risk being able to make money. Also involves risk being able to lose money. So please keep that in mind as you go through trading. And understand that past performance is not indicative for future results, which means that if you end up making money yesterday, it's not promised that you end up making money today. So with that being said, as we go through and take a look at these overall trading pairs and everything else, it seems like TradingView is still not working when it comes down to the live chat. I had to refresh my screen to actually be able to see my message that I end up placing in. So I'm sending over a link to our community Discord. That's the community Discord that we end up having for our free area and our premium area with everything else that ends up going along with that. But all of the questions that are asked inside of that, all you have to do is just sign up. You'll get placed inside of the farm. The farm is a free access resource material area. And then from there, once you end up placing all of that information in, what it will send you to is an area to where you can be able to place in your messages right there where it says live stream questions. So all you have to do is place in your messages inside of live stream messages when it comes down to questions or anything else like that, and you can be able to I can be able to see you a little bit faster when it comes down to those messages. So for the people who are in right now, thanks for being able to pop in. I hope everybody's going well. What's going on, Brian? What's going on, Cool? What's going on, Mixer? What's going on, Rich? Hope everybody's doing very well when it comes down to that. And obviously, I will look at those messages first because that'll be the first ones to end up populating over when it comes down to everything that's happening. Also, from the people on YouTube, I'm glad to be able to see everyone when it comes down to everything that we're doing for trading as well. I'm going to send over that same link. So if you want to be able to place in your messages and everything else, it's kind of hard. Even though I got 3 screens, it's kind of hard being able to go through and take a look at each and every one of those, each and every one of the stream links that I'm placing in. So I'm going to place in a link right there for you to be able to sign up and get placed in for it to farm, and also be able to send in your messages as well. So I keep my eye on that as we go through and get everything else situated. So let's talk about what's happening today. And we'll talk about what ended up happening last night. I was actually on a stream with one of our members yesterday, Brian, and we ended up seeing that Japanese yen ended up having a big fall. Japanese yen ended up having a big move to the downside. And then after that, the market actually ended up retracing pretty much 100% of that move that ended up happening. Evidently, there's still trying to be some intervention when it comes down to that movement. It was kind of funny being able to see it. It was a quick move. It was a quick profit. But I was trying to see if there can end up being a little bit more push to the downside, and it wasn't. Overall, the market ended up making a full retracement all the way back. Today, what we're going to end up seeing, or what has already happened, is that Germany has had their BME manufacturing PMIs. We end up having composite PMIs for the Eurozone, and then after that, we end up having S&P Global Services for the pound that just came out. What's going on, Rich? Hope everything's going well with you. As we go through and take a look at that. And so that kind of puts us at a point to where the thing that we're looking at, I just did that, the thing that we're looking at right now with the big 3 and kind of seeing what's happening. The United States dollar is strong. It's been strong for the last year and a half, and currently right now it seems like it's going to remain to be strong at this particular point. So As we look at it, we end up having a weekly D extension, end up getting hit at 142. Then after that, we was looking at the daily moves to the upside and trying to see how the market was going to end up reacting based off of that. We talked about how it ended up kind of reacting off the 120, the 127, and started to be able to push down based off of the 80-20 rule. Typically, that means that there's an 80% chance the market will have a retracement to the B, or when it comes down to the retracement, and then after that try to push back up, or possibly end up going down to the 382 off of full retracement. The market ended up having a big move to the downside earlier yesterday, based off of the 2 hour. If y'all can be able to see that, market ended up on Friday, market ended up pushing up. Automated system ended up catching it from 149 all the way up to 151.70. The market got all the way up to 151.93. I ended up manually getting out of 151.70. I'm glad that I did. But from there, market ended up having a what's the total range? 271 point move again, and then after that, another 391 point move. So over 600 points to the downside, tapped the inner trend line, and then after that, pushed back up. On Friday, the market fell back down. On Sunday, the market fell back down. It fell down 422 points as the market ended up pushing in. That's a move that I talked about. We ended up catching during our Sunday session. And then after that, the market has retraced and started to push back up from there. So what does that mean? The market is bullish. There's no other way to be able to. Okay. Okay, what just happened? Okay. Copy. What's going on, Peter? Hope everything is going well with you. Peter, I'm going to catch your messages late. If you're going to end up staying on the live chat, I think you're already in on the Discord, but if you're not, make sure that you go ahead and jump inside of the Discord, so I can be able to see your messages. Just go to the live stream question area, and I can be able to get in contact with you faster when it comes down to that. But ultimately, what ended up happening, the United States dollar is bullish, and obviously there's a larger move that should be coming when it comes down to this. From a daily perspective, the market has not hit the D extension yet. 153.96 is that overall push when it comes down to that movement. I don't know if I'm interested in being able to take that. Like I said, I've been interested in being able to sell, but I'm not going to keep on trying to catch a falling knife. Or keep on trying to go after this for sales until the market actually ends up showing that it's ready to be able to go. So I'm going to stay away from the United States dollar index, at least for right now. I think there's diminishing returns ahead when it comes down to that movement. Speaking of diminishing returns, oil, we ended up talking about this and expecting that the market was going to end up pushing up bullish when it came down to this movement. We end up having, let's see, we end up getting in on this pair when the market broke above 84.30. We end up having an expectation that the market could go up to 94.59. Obviously, remember, still the winter months, and I felt like the market was going to end up finally starting to have that push, because typically in October, you end up seeing that market start to have that push to the upside. But what ended up happening was that market ended up pushing all the way up to 86.57, which was one of our first take profits. But from there, quickly ended up retracing down. And since then, it has retraced below the overall entry point. At this point, matter of fact, I'm sorry, it's at break even at this particular point. I end up taking profit off of this move when the market started to give us that U-turn, and I didn't like what I ended up seeing. And currently, right now, I still don't like what I see when it comes down to this movement. But ultimately, I am still seeing a little bit of consolidation, or bigger built-out consolidation at this particular point, where obviously we're seeing that this is the natural resistance. I'm going to get rid of this. And this is our new natural support area that we need to pay attention to at this particular area. So as this market is trying to go through and kind of figure out what's happening from there, to me, this has become untradeable at this point, because I want to see how the market kind of reacts. It has to break above 2 points. One, it has to break above that purple trend line now. And the second thing, it has to be able to break above 87 for it to be valuable for us being able to get in on a move at this particular point. It doesn't make any sense to not do anything, or it doesn't make any sense to be able to jump in until it breaks above that overall area. So oil, out of contention when it comes down to this. Now, keep in mind, Canadian dollars can end up having some news that's going to come out on Wednesday, which is the interest rate decision. Hopefully, it might end up affecting what's happening with oil, but obviously, it has more effect on what's happening with the Canadian dollar when it comes down to movement. Gold is untradeable at this particular point. And I'm just being very brief. I don't like how the chart is kind of reacting off of this movement, or this kind of moving. Last week we ended up taking a trade at 1634 with a thought process of being able to get out at 1615. The market fell all the way down to 1617 before being able to pop back up. So end up getting about 98% of the overall move. If you end up taking that, I end up taking profit early off of that. But did anybody inside of the Discord, did anybody finish that whole move or get out closer than what I did? I think I got out at 1625. Anybody else end up catching it right around that area? Anybody end up catching it right around that area? Okay. I just wait and kind of see. Oh, well, I look at the chat and see when it comes down to that. If you did, great. If you did not, then there's no worries about it. But ultimately, right now, gold is not in a position to be able to do anything. The reason why I say that is obviously we're looking from a weekly perspective. The market is below the consolidation, and the daily perspective, the market is in a buy zone. But but I'm expecting for the market to be able to fall. But because it is in the buy zone, and because the United States dollar index is getting stronger, you should expect that the market should fall. So the market is kind of going in two opposite directions. The United States dollar index should be strong, but the market is showing that there are signs of being able to go up. It doesn't make any sense when it comes down to this movement. And what's actually happening is that it's building a larger consolidation block that kind of like what's happening with oil, to where now there goes your larger consolidation block. We can see that the market, when it's broken and kind of resisted around 1728, 1730 area, that's the area where the market has not been able to break above. And the 1615 area now, 1620, somewhere around ish, when it comes down to that position, now is the new natural support when it comes down to that movement. And because we're in the middle of that consolidation, it doesn't make any sense to be able to make a trade off of this one yet. So I'm going to stay away on gold as well. Nothing to be able to do when it comes down to that pair, unfortunately. I wish that was a different case, but unfortunately, I'm not able to make a move off of that one. Anybody else got a thought process on oil? On gold. Anybody else have a thought process on gold? Like to be able to know, unless there's something different that I'm looking at. I just don't like that. All right. U.S. Matter of fact, let's talk about Bitcoin. Bitcoin ended up having a big move. Ended up having a pretty decent move on Friday. So Bitcoin, from an overall standpoint, obviously, market ended up having that 65, larger range from 65,000, fell all the way down to 29. Once it fell down to 29, it found support at 18,240. From falling to support at 18,240. From there, start building out a larger consolidation block. That consolidation block was from 18,879 in 19,650. A few days ago, which was on the 13th, the market fell, and then after that fell all the way down to 240 again, and then after that started to push back up. It did it again on the 21st, where it broke below 880, and then after that started to make a move. The better move when it comes down to being able to buy, to be honest, is seeing if the market's going to clear 19,650. Now, obviously, you want to get in as a long-term hold and being able to make a move like that to the upside, then that's great. But if you're looking at this from an equity standpoint, you're using a trade to be able to get in with margin, and you're just trying to get out at a certain area, 19,650 would be the area where I would look at being able to get in on a buy, and then after that, try to ride it out to the natural positions of where it could potentially go. The next natural position where it could go for us being able to get out, we end up being at 20,350 area. If you're trying to say, hey, I'm getting in to be able to just buy and kind of stay in for a little bit when it comes down to that movement. Overall, because it's in the middle of consolidation at this particular point, it's really no trade when it comes down to this. It's out of the week's descending triangle. Rich, you're going to have to make me clear the screen. Hold on, let me take a look at it again. I'm going to look at it on a different chart. Are you talking about this right here? That what you're talking about? If that's the case, that's a breakout and a retest. And now that makes me kind of change my thought process on. Obviously, we looked at the long-term consolidation. You know, I primarily trade equities when it comes down to this, but that would make me think about it a little bit more. That would make me think about it a little bit more. Take profit will be 20,350. Go figure. It goes back to the number that we ended up talking about when it came down to the first move. What we said, 20,350 would be the area. I just said it. Take a look at it from an hourly perspective. 20,354. Yeah, yeah. It makes sense now. Um, that makes me interested in being able to make a move. At least trying to throw something in. Maybe even 1% off the move. Um, 2 hour 2 hours getting close to the buy zone. 1 hour is obviously in the buy zone. There's a breakout. We had a retest. If you look at it from a 2 hour perspective, question would be where you placing your stop loss. Are you being super aggressive, or are you going to sit up there and be conservative and place it below 18,750? Rich, I'm asking you that question. I'm asking you that question in particular. Or anybody else that trades Bitcoin? If you're taking that trade, are you placing a stop loss at 18,750, or are you placing it right below that swing low? And I know your algos handle most of that business, but um, uh, that is a honest question that I'm asking y'all. I would like to be able to know what everybody else thinks on this one. So you're going 18.8. Okay. Everyone, if you're taking a look at the, if you're on the Discord, if you're on the Discord group, a guy Rich Off Crypto, he actually has his own server and everything else like that he's talking about. I'm going to pull up what he ends up saying right here. He actually ended up placing in his stop at 18.8 when it comes down to this movement. He said that the market has broken out towards the upside. He has an entry at 19,938 with a 2.5 stop loss, and obviously he's talking about this order right here for us being able to get in as well. So something to consider. Definitely something to consider. Rich, I might jump in with you. As a matter of fact, I will jump in with you. Let's go ahead and let me go ahead and get something set up real quick. If anything, I'll go with a low percentage. I think that you already know I don't mind taking risks as long as they make sense. Let's see, chart window. Da, 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 da. Everyone, let's see. Give me a second as I'm putting this in. Um, Entry will be instant. Stop loss. I'm gonna go with what he ended up saying, 18,800. Take profit 20,000, 20,350. What was that number? What was that number? Let's see. 20,351. I'm just gonna say 350. I ain't gonna say 351. Risk reward on that one is 1 to 647. Not bad. Not the greatest thing in the world, but it's not bad. I'm gonna end up going. I'm gonna end up going 2% of my account because I'm still kind of torn if it's being in consolidation. All right, trade is in. Trade is in on that one. We'll see how everything kind of plays out. Yeah, trade is in on that one. We'll see how everything kind of plays out on that move. Once again, um, I'm going to place that in so everybody can be able to see it. Matter of fact, let me place it on Trading View. It would be nice if I do that, and we'll kind of go from there. I got about 7 more minutes to be able to get through some pairs. We'll talk about those as well. Let's see. No, I don't need to go to the live stream. Hey, I'm the only person on the live stream. Look at that. Let's see, BTC. Let's see, Coinbase. I'm seeing. I don't know if you see that. Answer. Okay. Okay. Whoa to move. I'm just gonna place in the stop loss and everything goes like that. I see that the market is actually starting to push to the downside already, but if I don't feel comfortable with it, then I'll pull it. What number did I get? I got 19,426. Yeah, I got caught right up here. As soon as I placed it in, the market ended up popping to the downside. Stop loss 1880, 18,800. Take profit 20,357. 20,350. All right, so that's where we at right here when it comes down to this movement. Everyone else that is interested in being able to take this trade, I'm going to end up placing this in on TradingView as a overall idea based off of this movement right here. Rich, I'm going to end up giving you definitely going to end up giving you credit when it comes down to this one. I place that inside of the chat as well, so people can be able to see the overall idea about what ended up happening from this movement right here. So here, 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 breakout, retest. Market's already done pop. Breakout, retest from that overall move. Had a counter trend line break already. Moving to the upside. All right, so I place that in as an idea, so everybody can be able to take a look at that and kind of take advantage of it. Matter of fact, I need to place it as an idea real quick now. Let's see. Put that over to the side. I'll come back to that. We take a look at 2 more pairs before I end up placing in the idea. I'll be very quick with everybody else that want to be able to take a look at it, but we just talked about it. Obviously, we'll go from there. What's going on, Brian? What's going on, WizKid? Hope everything's going well with you. Let's talk US 30 real quick, and we'll talk Nas 100. We'll get out of here and we'll call it for the morning, and then after that, obviously, we'll talk a little bit later on. All right, so what has happened? From a daily perspective, minimize the screen so I can be able to see everybody. There we go. What's going on, Brian? I thought you was already in. I seen that you was online, but I didn't know you was already in. Well, I thought you was already in. Okay, from a weekly perspective, this is what's happening in the market. Has fell below the overall fell below the overall B of this movement. Found support at 28,700. From there, the market has popped out of that large consolidation. Remember, October typically has a large consolidation. Then after that, a big breakout move, and then you can start seeing the movement start to be able to happen at the end of the year for us being able to go to the upside. Now, obviously, the market has been pushing to the downside all year, so we are kind of seeing if we're going to end up having a little bit of a retracement move at this particular point. Kind of like what I ended up saying in our Sunday session was that um, the market end up breaking out of our position and end up hitting our take profit on Friday. And since then, it had a breakout, had a retest. Currently, the market is breaking above this overall counter trend line break, which is a strong buy signal right now to be able to get in to the upside. Uh, and if we were taking a look at just overall pockets of where the market could potentially end up going, I end up saying a couple areas. One, the first time we end up looking at it, it was basically 31,291. And then after that, I end up saying that ultimately, if the market breaks above 31,450, then there's a large pocket that you can be able to take advantage of, which will be a great type of this swing trading move to 31,700. Now, if you know about indexes, that's really not a swing trade. That's a move that can be able to happen um, within an overall day or so. Within an overall day or so when it comes down to movement, and sometimes within minutes, depending on what the news actually is. I do like what I see for the market being able to push to the upside, and even if it's just a scalping position, I would be interested in being able to take this right now. Let's take a look at it from a 15-minute perspective. Hopefully, it's not truly overbought. Um, let's see. We have a breakout. We have a retest. Market is breaking above the high. Um, I would consider being able to get in, but the question is, what's going to be the stop loss? Um, Stop loss, if you end up doing this, you're going to use your position size calculator if you want to be able to use it inside of the Discord. You go to the resources area in the members area, you will end up seeing that. Also in the indicators area, you'll see the position size calculator that you can be able to use and be able to go from there. I will place my stop loss below 30,900 if you're trying to be safe. Give it a little bit of room. That's a 300-point move, but the question is, what can we be able to get out of that if we're risking 300? We're risking 300. We got to be able to make at least seven. 31,298, and that's a scalp move. That's the top of resistance. Is it going to end up getting into that pocket? Will it get into that pocket? That's a question. Okay. That would be my move. At least what I would think will end up happening. So here's the plan on this one. Okay. Would be nice if I turn the system on. There we go. I'm going to take a entry now. 30,900 will end up being my stop loss. Take profit will end up being what I say, 31,700. I think I said 31,700. Yes, 31,700. I'm going to be honest with you. I like the risk versus reward, but the stop loss is so large that I'm only going to go 1% of my account when it comes down to doing that. If you're going to do this, either have a large account or go with a mini account on being able to do this when it comes down to this one. Just because of how large that swing actually can end up being, if you're placing your stop loss below. Now, if you want to place your stop loss below this swing low of 31,062. Obviously, that saved you a little bit. You're talking about 200 points when it comes down to that. It'll make it a little bit easier to be able to kind of swallow that movement if you want to be able to take it. I'm not going to be in front of the computer as much this morning, so I am going to go ahead and take that as a larger type of position. That'll give it a little bit of room. So you could do two different positions. Stop loss either below here. Oh, geez, wrong direction. Stop loss either below there, going out to 31,700. Risk reward is not necessarily there. It's not the greatest when it comes down to doing that. If you really want to have a great risk versus reward, you'll have to place it below 31,050. 31,050 will give you 1 to 2.5. And if you miss, then you miss. But obviously, it'll be able to give you a better risk versus reward when it comes down to that movement. That will be the last one that I end off with. For everyone that's inside of the Discord and everything else like that, I'll place in the other ones along the way today with XPX 500, US NAS 100, DAX, and a few other pairs if they end up showing up. Currently, right now, I don't see. Currently, right now, I have to be able to go, to be honest. But obviously, we've gotten into two different pairs at this particular moment. We end up getting into US 30. US 30 on the 15-minute. Keep in mind, it's in the sell zone, so you might have a chance to be able to get in at a lower price. Okay, so if you don't want to jump in and don't want to jump with that type of risk, you can wait. Obviously, it's 7 o'clock, so keep in mind we got 2 more hours until the market truly starts being able to make some type of movement. The one thing that I will say is this: if you end up getting in on this move now, and the market fails to be able to break above this high, take profit early and look to retest on being able to get in again. So if it cannot break 31,350, or if it gets past 31,350 and then after that rejects again, look to take profit from being able to go from there. 31,350 is that open pocket area. I'm sorry, 31,250 is the open pocket area to that 31,700 number. But quite frankly, if you just don't have it, or when it comes down to being able to wait, we just don't see that it's not necessarily giving us the best type of move overall, then just wait a little bit and give it a little bit of time. When it comes down to that, 31,450 was the number. 31,450 to 31,700 is the number for us being able to get that open pocket area from there. You like what I end up doing? Please make sure that you end up clicking on that boost button. Do me a favor. We finally end up, and this is kind of funny, but we finally end up getting over 200 people, 200 subscribers on YouTube. And obviously, we're steadily kind of moving that one along. Got placing a lot of content on that one, but if you could, if you're supporting what you're doing here on Trading View, please support the YouTube page as well. The YouTube page, I start placing in more educational stuff, more indicator stuff, and everything else like that. And for being able to place all that stuff in, and obviously we got the Discord, the premium Discord, for being able to go from there. For the first, like I ended up saying before, for the first 10 people that end up joining the overall elite group, you will end up getting a chance to be able to get a licensed copy of the FX Skywalker. The FX Skywalker, going through and placing in all of that information from there. It's an automated system based off of Ikimoku breakouts. You want to learn a little bit more information about how that actually goes. I'm about to place in a video link from one of the last times that I ended up going through some testing. And since the last time I did testing, the numbers have actually ended up shot up a little bit more when it comes down to the way that we end up trading it. But I'm super excited about that. Very much excited about being able to get this out to everybody, because this is what we're going to use for our challenges, for the prop firms and everything else like that. So if you are interested in being able to use that, if you are interested in being able to being in a community of like-minded traders that are interested in being able to obviously grow their accounts, have fun, being able to do it, have good fellowship and everything else like that, don't hesitate to be able to place your information inside of there, or don't hesitate to be able to join. Like always, make sure that you end up planning your trade your plan. I see each and every one of y'all in the next video, which will end up being a little bit later on tonight at 9 p.m. Everyone, take it easy.